Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through my round 8 tips and then reviewing my round 7 tips as well to see how well I did in comparison to the rest of the comp and stuff like that. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So first of all, we'll start on the iPad just to go through the round 7 tips, and we'll see how well I did in comparison to what the actual margins were. So Adelaide by 45, and if we actually look at the game, I just want to see it so it was black. They won that game, and they won it by 42 points, so that was a 3-point margin off, so not actually that bad of a tip in the end. A pretty good tip for an opening round, especially a margin in this type of competition. Then you have St Kilda versus GWS, and St Kilda ran out 13-point winners, and I'm pretty sure they might have been up even more going into the last change, and then they went and got pegged back just a fraction. If I look at the stats here, then I look at it, it was 1 goal to 2 goals 2 in the last quarter, so that would have gapped it by a further 8 points. Would have brought it back by 8 points. So it was 21 points at 3/4 time, and was now only 13 full time. So I was 10 points off there. So that's not even that bad of a prediction to be within 10 points in a game. Then you have Geelong versus Freo. Geelong won by 24 points. I had them by 17, so another really good actual tip. And that was 7 points off as well. And let's just do that. Then the Swans versus Hawthorn. I basically got if I just put here, done something like that and put Hawthorn, it would have been pretty much spot on. Hawthorn won by 14, so this was 27 points off, which is a bad tip in the end, but I think that's going to be my worst tip of the round, I think. Then you have Brisbane against Gold Coast. I said Brisbane by 19, and Brisbane ended up winning by 36, so 17 points off there. So the margin is slightly getting out of hand in a couple of these games, but not terrible. I mean, I want to beat this. What was it? 139, I think, is the goal to beat. And let's just see whether we actually do that. So you have next up Richmond against Essendon. I went for the upset in Richmond, and they ended up losing by 17. So that's a 26-point margin. So that's not a good sign. And then we move on to North against Port. North won by 63 in the end, so I was 13 points off there, and that's a really good sign that I was 13 points off in that game, as that could have easily been slid with it being such a high margin. There's a lot of volatility in that. Carlton against Collingwood, went for Collingwood. That would be right, that would be wrong, that would be right, that's right as well. And I went Collingwood by 11. They ended up winning by 17. So I was 6 points off there. So another really good low margin to help out the overall round margin. And then Melbourne against West Coast. And Melbourne won by 70. And I said not West Coast. I said Melbourne by 65. So I was somehow only 5 points off there in the margin. So if you actually do the margin count, that's 20, 47, 64... 70, 90, 103, 114. That's how well I did this week. And if you take out these, it was really these two games that just destroyed me, with 53 coming between them, and then also sort of 70 actually, if you look at it. If I do that, 70 between these sort of 3 games is a massive part of my margin there. And so I sort of let it slip there on the, I think it was the Saturday, sort of midday games to late games. I let that slip a little bit, I believe, as, I think they were all, this was the 305, 505, and 705 games that I really let slip. But anyway, pretty good. If we look back at the, where I am in the comp, I am currently 75th. And I believe if I just quickly look at this before I switch screens for you guys, and then look at my tips, I was 55th overall going into the round. So I'm sort of bobbing up and down between 70. I was 74th at the end of round 4, and then I went down to 40th, 55th, then 75th. So hopefully in this round I can gain some ground back and sort of and get back into that top sort of 50 or so, but we'll wait and see about that. But anyway, let's go across to the other tab now, and there we go. I believe that's worked. Yep. And now it's down to these set of games. Hawthorn against Richmond. I think Richmond wins this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what that 11%, 11 to 89 split suggests. I mean, we have Richmond on 3 and 4, Hawthorn at 2 and 5, and Hawthorn have defeated, they've defeated Western Bulldogs and Sydney. And if you look at the table, those are there. Whereas Richmond has defeated Brisbane, who they win in round 2, they lost. Round 3, Richmond, where did Richmond play? Here. Richmond beat GWS, so that's nothing major. Then in round 4, Richmond, where did they play? Richmond beat Carlton as well, so that's a pretty decent scalp. So if I'm gonna say something, I think it's Richmond that they're gonna win. It's just a matter of by how much. And I think Richmond is honestly gonna win this game by, I think it's going to be sort of around that 15 to 20 point margin. They don't seem to blow teams out. And Hawthorn isn't the toughest team, but they're still competitive. So I think they'll win this game by, I think it's going to be 17 points. If we just do 17, there we go. Then you have Sydney versus Western Bulldogs. Sydney versus Western, this could actually be, I was going to say this could be interesting, but then I read something yesterday night, just before I went to bed, that I knew Moffat was out, but I didn't realise Edmund was out as well, so therefore it's effectively, I think the ruck situation is pretty dire in both camps, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there, but I just think that with the way that they're playing, the Swans have a better chance of still winning this game. So I'm going to pick the Swans. And I'm going to pick them to win by, I think 11 points. Then you have Adelaide versus Brisbane, and it's sort of hard to actually go against Adelaide with the way that they're playing at the moment. Brisbane are sort of not looking as convincing for 4 quarters. And so I think I'm going to go Adelaide. I think they're going to just be able to edge out Brisbane. So I think Adelaide are going to win this game by, I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm going to say they're going to win it by 13 points. Then you've got Carlton versus GWS. GWS haven't really put up much of a contest, and Carlton are on a hot streak. So I think I'm going to go Carlton to win. Wait, no, Carlton lost their last game. So talking about hot streak, they're not. But other than that Collingwood game, I think they won in round 6. They won in round 5, didn't they, as well? They won in round 4, I want to say, as well. Nope, they lost in round 4. Round 3, they won. Round 2, did they win as well? No, they lost, and in round 1, they beat Gold Coast, muddling my words yet again. So I do think Carlton's going to win that. I do think that they're just stronger than GWS at the moment, and GWS have no Parker and or Beeson. So I think that they're really going to struggle. So I'm going to pick Carlton by 26 points. Then you have Port Adelaide against Gold Coast. I think Gold Coast is just stronger, to be honest. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to pick Gold Coast in this game. And I'm going to pick them to win by, I think, by 32 points. I just want to check the Port game from last week, what happened in that result. Port last week got thumped, and then the week before that they lost to the Swans, and if we use the Swans as sort of a benchmark, Gold Coast are better than the Swans, so that 32 points should be round about the marker. Then you have Melbourne against North, and this is a real big decision because they're both 6-1, and it's a really tough one, to be honest with you. I I can see the value of going both. Like, I can see each way winning. I think I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick North Melbourne to win. I just have more confidence in their midfield to be able to do the job over Melbourne's midfield. And I think that'll be the reason why. So I'm gonna pick North to win. This will probably be the wrong pick, but anyway, North to win, and I think they're gonna win by 8 points. Then you have Collingwood versus Geelong. If we look at round 7, I just want to see what did Geelong do. They beat Freo, so they're back to some form of normality. The week before that, they lost to Essendon, and Collingwood has beaten pretty much every team in their path. So, who did Collingwood beat? Carlton. So I'm actually going to go with another upset, which will probably mean that I'll get one wrong. But I'm going to go with Collingwood to beat Geelong this week. And I think it's going to be a shock, but I'm going to pick them. And I think they're going to win by 7 points. Next up, you have St Kilda versus Freo, and these two sort of results, I can just sort of click on them to sort of show what I'm thinking. They're very simple results. I think St Kilda win this game against Freo, as Freo just haven't really shown anything. I mean, Bowers is back, but I think it's just Freo in itself is just not working out. So I'm gonna pick St Kilda to win that game, and I'm gonna pick them to win by, I think, 15 points. And then Essendon against West Coast, I'm going to pick Essendon to win by 52 points, I think. So that pretty much is the video there of the round 8 tips, as well as going through the round 7 tips. And hopefully I can gain back some ground. So I'm 4 tips off the Crows, the first place tipper, and sort of at least 2 tips off most of the field, even 1 tip off most of the field in front of me. So I think I can. If I get the full 9 out of 9, I'll probably jump up. I'm gonna guess to like 40th, 30th, somewhere around there, as there was some upsets in there. But hopefully we can get that so that we can sort of solidify ourselves in the top 100 or so in the tipping, and then push to try and see if we can overtake these sort of top 5 or 6. If we can get the margin right, then we'll be in a good spot, I reckon. But anyway, that is the video, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be the round 8 women's fantasy team reveal, and then hopefully there'll be some other videos up on Saturday, etc., to fill that void. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.